such wonderful thoughts on imagination, but I'm going to expand that a little bit today. Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. Ladies and gentlemen, teachers and students, good afternoon. As we explore the captivating concept of transcending imaginary boundaries, I begin today's talk with this quote that has resonated with me from the brilliant Albert Einstein. Visualize with me for a moment, if you will, the power of imagination. Is it not a gift that sets us apart as the Homo sapiens species, the true pinnacle of evolution? The ability to create worlds and beyond within our minds, to dream and to envision, for better or worse, depends on now us, doesn't it? It's a paradox, though. The very power of imagination can become a double-edged sword. It can either trap us within our imaginary boundaries or set us free from them. As a psychologist and practicing clinical therapist, it is the intricate play between the empowering and limiting nature of boundaries that I deal with and help people work through on a daily basis. It's indeed important to understand the delicate balance between the need and importance of boundaries for healing and growth, and not allowing those very boundaries to become limiting factors to our own growth and potential for self-discovery. Why is this important? This becomes important because in the aftermath of trauma, there's real need for boundaries to protect and provide clarity and much needed perspective. Not wanting to go into too much of detail of trauma and how that works, suffice to say that oftentimes the fears that haunt us after a traumatic event are significant echoes of those events, but those very real events. These echoes, these fears, are the barriers that we place upon ourselves, believing them to be insurmountable. It's as if the trauma casts a shadow that continues to block our path long after the event has passed. The renowned trauma specialist, Janina Fisher, aptly described this phenomenon when she said, "Our trauma symptoms become our identities. We begin to define ourselves by those symptoms. I'm anxious. I'm short-tempered. I'm broken." And we may even declare with a sense of finality, "This is who I am. There's nothing else." And they feel a sense of stuckness and despondency. These identities become the boundaries we erect around ourselves. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to do a little bit of a thought experiment with you all, so please bear with me. So I'm going to ask you all to get into a comfortable position, take a deep breath, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and exhale. Now, with your eyes closed, just want you all to think about any event, situation, scenario, maybe even from the recent past, where you might have felt slightly anxious, nervous, maybe a little panicky. You know, that pit of the stomach, not so good feeling we're all very familiar with? Let that come up. Let that come up for 10, 20 seconds in your mind. Yeah? Well, I can see some of you already have it. Okay, great. Open your eyes. Now, in that moment, if I go around the room and check with maybe one or all of you, and I ask you how you felt, what you were feeling and why, more importantly, and I go down to why you felt that, and then why you felt that, and keep distilling it down to the various whys, we will more often than not end up with some shades of, I don't know, I'm stuck. I can't see a way out. I don't feel right about this, and I don't know what to do about it. So a sense of feeling optionless, if you would. As we have just experienced, at the core of stressful situations is the self-narrative, I don't have options, or I don't have any good options, they're all only bad options, or there's no way out of that. For trauma survivors or people dealing with anxiety or panic disorders, what you have just felt in the last 10, 20 seconds is about 100,000 times more, and they feel truly stuck in those. One is basically stuck in a pattern of dysfunctionality and unhappiness, driving them to a sense of desperation and depression. Over time, it becomes really challenging to differentiate between the real wound and the lingering echoes of the pain. It's like, for example, if you're falling off a horse, right? The initial pain is real, the shock is real, but the hesitation to get back on that horse stems from the echo of that pain. Now here, the boundaries are important, necessary, and protective. We do need time to heal. We do need to feel protected for a while. But to get back on that horse, the question then becomes, how can we transcend this imaginary boundary that the echo of the pain has left? In my work, we start with a simple yet profound thought exercise. In the safety of the therapy, we try to challenge their thoughts into going into a place of feeling no fear. We try to put the boundaries of the fear and the pain behind them and try to ask them what choices that they might have. I acknowledge that this process is not bereft of irony as I ask them to break those very imaginary boundaries that the trauma has created upon them using their imagination. The first step in transcending these imaginary lines is to recognize that you have options. This realization is like a beacon of light breaking through the darkness. Witnessing the transformation as clients grasp that they are not as limited as they once believed is one of the most rewarding aspects of my work. Try this when you go home today. To the very scenarios that you thought of just now for the 10, 20 seconds where you felt a little uneasy, try to explore choices that you might not have thought of before because of fear limiting you. No matter how out there that was, just give it a shot. Ask people, broaden your perspectives, and see as you develop choices, does that stuckness leave you just a little bit? That feeling of choicelessness leave you just a little bit? See what happens. Let Maya Angelou's wisdom guide you. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. This reminds us that while we cannot control external events, we can choose how we respond to them. We can choose not to be reduced by them. Now let's apply this concept to you, the students, who are navigating the challenge of exams, university admissions, peer pressure, influence of social media, and try to feel accepted while at the same time you're trying to stand out. Oh man, that's a whole bunch load of things. And I'm sure there's a lot more I haven't thought of that you guys have to deal with in today's day and age. This stage in your lives can be incredibly daunting. The pressure to perform, the fear of failure, and the weight of expectations, all real challenges, can create stressful situations that push you to the point of feeling stuck and overwhelmed. These fears can become barriers to the very path of success that you're trying to achieve, limiting your potential. When you feel like that, know this: courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Well, if Nelson Mandela were alive here today and was addressing you folk, I'm sure he'd amend this quote to read a little bit more gender neutral. Your anxieties and fears are understandable, but they are not insurmountable. Your courage lies in your ability to push through and transcend these fears. By doing so, you unlock a world of infinite possibilities. आखिर डर के आगे जीत है. Beyond fear is victory. I've witnessed individuals who have faced unimaginable trauma emerge from the depths of despair stronger and more resilient. Their stories are a true testament to the power of transcending imaginary boundaries through the very powers that put those boundaries there in the first place. They have discovered that their past, their traumas, their anxieties, these do not define them. What defines them is the choices they make in response to these challenges. In the realm of psychology, we understand both the depths of human despair and the heights of human resilience. Change is inevitable. Life is constantly changing around us. But transformation, my friends, is a choice. It's the conscious decision to transcend limitations and go beyond. I leave you with this thought in conclusion. Each of you possess an incredible capacity to imagine. It's up to you whether we are going to let these imaginations bind us, make us prisoners to these limiting thoughts, or liberate us and set us free. Whether you're someone seeking to overcome trauma, a student dealing with examination challenges, or just individuals struggling with everyday challenges that life throws our way, just remember, we have options. We have choices. Let us encourage our imagination to fearlessly explore these choices, these options, transcend boundaries limiting us from achieving our true potential. Embrace your capacity to imagine, confront your fears, and choose the path of growth. As you do, you will unlock the greatness that lies within you, and you will discover that the possibilities in life are boundless, or shall I say, boundaryless. Now, the choice is yours. Will you continue to focus on the limitations, or will you harness the power of your imagination and ascend to become the best version of yourselves? Thank you for your time, and I hope these thoughts stay with you as you navigate the labyrinth that is life.